The nuclear arms race was when the United States and the USSR were competing to develop a larger and more powerful nuclear arsenal. Neither would back down, making the nuclear arms race a multiple decade-long conflict. After the United States developed the first atomic bomb to end World War II, the USSR also wanted nuclear weapons. On August 29, 1949, after the Soviets developed their first atomic bomb, named RDS-1, an arms race ensued. An essential fact of the nuclear arms race is MAD, or Mutually Assured Destruction. It means that if the Soviets shot missiles at America, then America would retaliate by sending missiles back. This would destroy both nations. Another essential fact is deterrence theory. It is essentially to intimidate the other country into backing down. There were many leaders during this time, but some key American leaders were Harry Truman, Richard Nixon, John F. Kennedy, and Ronald Reagan. Some key leaders for the Soviet Union included Joseph Stalin, Nikita Khrushchev, Leonid Brezhnev, and Mikhail Gorbachev. The ever-looming threat of nuclear destruction was one of the main driving factors of the Cold War. Tensions were often raised because of the movement or acquisition of nuclear arms. The Cuban Missile Crisis, which was the height of the Cold War, was over nuclear missiles being sent and constructed in Cuba. Many other treaties and agreements to stop producing nuclear weapons were made and broken, adding tension to the Cold War. The United States' perspective on the nuclear arms race was that they opposed the Soviet Union because of their communist beliefs, and they wanted to beat the Soviet Union to not only secure their own safety, but to show off their nuclear superiority. There was much at stake for the United States. However, the two greatest things was the safety of the people and the values of democracy. Although deterrence theory and mutually assured destruction stopped nations from using nuclear arms, pride and patriotism spurred on the nuclear arms race because both the United States and the Soviet Union wanted to be the stronger global superpower. The United States spent a lot of money to develop nuclear missiles and technology. It is estimated that during the Cold War, the United States spent a bare minimum of $5.5 trillion on nuclear weapons. By the end of the war, both the United States and the Soviet Union had amassed massive nuclear arsenals. The US had about 11,000 nuclear missiles. The USSR had about 10,000. The only real accomplishment for the United States was not destroying the entire world with nuclear missiles. There were many groups of people that completely opposed both nuclear energy and weapons. They wanted peace and not to have possibly dangerous radioactive weapons and power plants. Many people questioned the morality of using such powerful weapons of destruction on other humans.
They were against the US because the US was against their communist beliefs. Also, they viewed the event as two different systems of international relation. The Soviet Union wanted to spread communism, and their beliefs were at stake. They wanted to conquer more land to make them communist and targeted weaker countries with poverty and having problems rebuilding themselves. The cost of the Soviet Union was that the country eventually first fell into trouble in the 1980s, but fully fell into different states in 1991. The outcome was that the Soviet Union began to fall and eventually fell in 1991. There wasn't a winner, as none of the countries won the overall war. The only country who lost was the Soviet Union. The issue was not handled well. Because mass amount of money was put into the arms race, causing problems in countries, and it caused the countries to fall.